Hey guys, so I've been in kind of a creative rut as of recent. I haven't really had any great ideas for videos, or I haven't found the motivation to make videos, and I've always had an interest in mycology. So it is for this reason why today I am out here on this beautiful early autumn day to look for some mushrooms. I've got my dog right here, and hopefully we'll find some fungus among us. Wow, look at this. Already I have found mushrooms growing off of this kind of stick right here. As you can see, they are kind of greenish in color. I forgot the name for it. I think it's saprophytic. This is fungus that is basically feasting off of this decaying wood right here. These play a pretty important role in breaking down the materials that are rotting away in the forest. So off to a good start, I guess. Let's keep going. And immediately after that, I have found some very small little mushrooms. There we go. Look at this. Had to turn on manual focus here real quick. You can see it's very small, has a tannish cap up here with a white rim. The gills are separated, it looks like, and it has a very small little bulb at the bottom here. Very cool, and there seems to be quite a bit of them around here, so pretty cool find. Oh wow, look at that. Alright, so here we have quite a large, colony of these very small, not very small, just small white mushrooms. Hold on, let me see if I can get one right here. You can see it's completely white, it has brown gills on the bottom there, and pretty sure these mushrooms are very common. Can't really be too rare, but pretty cool to see a lot of them together right here. Alright, so here is some more very small mushrooms. This time they are brown. I almost didn't see them because they look very much like these things, which I'm not quite sure they are. Anyway, see right here, it's a tiny little mushroom, small and brown, very mysterious, very powerful mushrooms. What do you think, Roxy? Here we see more of these very small, almost like milky mushrooms. Pretty cool to see really any kind of mushroom around here. So, just want to show you real quick just how small these mushrooms can be. These mushrooms are very tiny. Just absolutely microscopic mushrooms right here. Just goes to show you that mushrooms can grow anywhere, and they can be really any size, even super small like this right here. So yeah, let's continue on. So if you're sitting at home watching this and you're thinking, man, that looks so cool, I want to do that, I want to find some mushrooms. How can you find some mushrooms? Well, in terms of time, usually the best time is about after it's been raining quite a bit, which in this case is true. It's been raining quite a lot recently, but in terms of places, generally you're gonna want to look for forests like this, open fields that are more more moisturized than this one. This looks pretty dry. Public parks can yield quite a bit of interesting fungus, as well as in your own backyard or front yard or whatever. I don't care. But generally what you're gonna want to be doing is really looking everywhere. You know, like I've just shown you, mushrooms can be very, very small, but they can also be very, very large. It's important to be looking in really every little nook and cranny. So just some helpful tips for you out there at home who want to get into mycology as I do. So something really cool that I've been noticing around here is tiny little mushrooms growing out of pine cones. Now, I've never seen that before, but probably pretty common in mycology. But I just want to show you guys, see if I can find one here. Right here is what I was talking about. So here we can see some little mushrooms growing out of this pine cone here. Bring it up close for you. Look at that. Tiny, tiny mushrooms growing out of a pine cone. Very cool. Now I have no idea what this is, but there's a lovely mosquito trap right here to view it with me. But it seems sort of jelly-like. It's very, very wet and very rubbery, so no clue what this is, but definitely a fungus and definitely very cool. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Mosquito? Yeah, let's go. There are just tons of bushes and like stinging nettles around here. It's horrible. There are also tons of spider webs and insects and whatnot. It's probably not the funnest place to be looking for fungus, but you know, you can make do. Okay, so right here, look at this. This thing is absolutely monstrous. Look at that. That's my hand right next to it. It is a humongous fungus right here. Don't quite know what it is, but I love it. It is huge, growing off of this fallen tree stump. Absolutely enormous shroom right here. Now I'm pretty much at the end of this forest here, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up for this place. We're gonna go to another place real soon here, so now I know I said I'll be leaving this place pretty soon, but I just have to say this one thing. Do not eat mushrooms that you find in the wild unless you are a very experienced and seasoned mushroom hunter and you really know your stuff. It's not a good idea at all to be eating things that you find on the ground in the forest. Just do your research and have fun, alright? Look at this plane. Now obviously not all mushrooms are poisonous. In fact, the vast majority of mushrooms are not poisonous and will just give you gastrointestinal distress. But it's still not a good idea to eat wild mushrooms on the ground that you find, because some people can be more sensitive to mushrooms than others. So just be very wary. before you ask, yes, I am legally able to drive and I have been for a year. So, here we are at location number 2. It is a field and it is very, very large. So, I'm hoping that we will find some mushrooms around here. Let's take a look. Wow, I mean, I've been by here quite a few times before, but I never really knew just how large this field is. Now, it's pretty dry here and there isn't much shade, so it's not really that great of a chance of finding mushrooms, but you know, there's always hope. So I'm just here inspecting this little tree island in the middle of this field, and it looks like there's some old dried up fungus right there on these large sticks right here. If you see that, it looks like it used to be quite a fungus, but looks pretty dried up and dead now, so not really having much hope for this location at the moment. So, but I mean, hopefully we'll find something. We might. So over here by the metro line there seems to be quite a bit of foliage here, so that brings shade and hopefully mushrooms, but I don't want to get too close to the tracks there, so I think I might stay away. See, there's someone tried to crawl through. So yeah, this field doesn't look too promising, to say the least. Very beautiful though. So here I was thinking this field is a complete dud, and look at this. We found one small mushroom. Look at this. Pink gills. I don't think I've seen that. One small mushroom, it looks like. It is quite a bit bigger than the ones we found in the forest as well. So, one mushroom. There we go. Here we are coming up on some shade, and it doesn't look like there's much here in terms of fungal activity. Can't really find any mushrooms, which is really what we're after here. Yeah, just shady little corner in this massive field. So quick side note here, you may have seen me pick up a lot of mushrooms and kind of pluck it from the ground, and you may think to yourself, Ben, you can't do that, it's harmful to the plants. Don't do that, bro, it's not cool. Well, this is debated, but generally it doesn't really harm the fungus itself to pick a mushroom, because the mushroom is, the only thing that the mushroom does is spread spores for the fungus that lives underground or in wood. And in fact, it can actually help spread the spores even further by moving around the mushroom. So don't go around throwing around all the mushrooms that you see, but don't really worry about it if you accidentally knock one over or decide to pick one up. I find that small empty business parks like this can be pretty beautiful at times, especially on this lovely sunny day in late September. So I was just talking about business parks for some reason, and look at this, found another mushroom. This one seems to have some chomps bitten out of it from some bugs, but it resembles like the button mushrooms you find at the store. You can see it has the same pink gills. There's another one right there. These seem to be probably younger than the one that I found earlier. So yeah, more mushrooms in location number 2. Fascinating. So location number 2, was it a complete dud? Well, not really. We found 3 small white mushrooms and 2 completely dead, dried up mushrooms. So it was unsuccessful, kind of, but we did find some fungus along here. So real quick, I was looking through my little mushroom pamphlet right here, and I guess the small white mushroom that we found was this meadow mushroom, Agaricus campestris. Cap 4 inches across, white, dome-shaped to flat, flesh firm and dry, gills pink. Yeah, pretty much describes what we found there. So, very cool, very cool. So, I guess that wraps up location number 2. Let's move on to location number 3. Okay, so I was walking along here and just look at these humongous mushrooms that I just found on the ground. I mean, look at that. Just absolutely massive shroom. And there's some more over there with more flat tops. So those are probably these in a later stage of development. Yeah, very cool, very large mushrooms. So I used to live in this general area around here, and as a kid I was also pretty into mycology, and I remember one time came here and there was a morel mushroom on that stump over there, just a large morel mushroom, and it was so cool. I remember around here I also found a big green death cap mushroom, one of the most poisonous mushrooms in the world, and it was very cool. Would you look at that? Right over there, beyond this wall, is what seems to be a young ink cap mushroom. They look bullet-shaped while young, and this one is. Usually they should have more black, but that one looks a bit dried up, as this spot seems like it gets quite a bit of sun. So I remember once I found an ink cap mushroom along here as well, so very cool to see that mushrooms persist through time. So yeah, so here we are coming up on location number 3. So some of you may recognize this field as the one in which me and my friends shot How Not to Create a Nation. That video is atrocious and I hope you do not see it. Okay, so location number 3 I was really excited for because I used to find a lot of mushrooms there, but there was a homeless guy there, so I decided to get out. Instead, I think I'm going to choose my backyard to look for mushrooms in. So yeah, here we go. So immediately I can see here this very large cluster of these mushrooms that have been so prevalent in the latter half of this video. Yeah, not quite sure what these are. To my best estimate, those metal mushrooms that I saw. There's a bug in there, don't know if you can see that. They seem pretty common around here, so just interesting to see these in my backyard. Just some more of those small metal mushrooms around here. And to wrap it all off, just one last tiny little meadow mushroom right here in the grass. Nice. So what did we learn today? Well, we learned that there are mushrooms pretty much everywhere that you look, if you look hard enough. We had quite good success in the forest and a little bit in the field and not much in the Vincini stand, but there are some mushrooms in my backyard. So if you're just getting an interest in mycology and you're new to this, then I guess your backyard is pretty much the place to start. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and please leave a comment because it lets me know that you exist. I'm sorry that this isn't my typical kind of content. I'm kind of trying out things. So yeah, I guess I'll see you next time, whenever that may be. Bye.